Hey everybody, welcome to Haylett RV. My name is Josh the RV Nerd, and this one right here is one of these campers that is always in my personal picks list. It's the Freedom Express 257. It is just an absolutely awesome family bunk mover right here. It is made for towing and going, and you can tell from top to bottom to inside out. This is designed by somebody who goes camping, and that is, I think, why it's just such a smarter trailer. The things that really stick out to me about this, like, it has some awesome qualities. Like, for the 22 series, Freedom Express has gone to double Azdel sidewalls, which I think is very cool. You've got a ton of aluminum structure going on to keep the weight in check. It's only 5,650 pounds as we see it here today. I think very nicely within the realm of half-ton towability, especially when you factor in it's 28 feet and change, tip to tail, barely over 28. And with the wide stance stability axles, it isn't inclined to kind of push around a tow vehicle. It is just an easier, smoother kind of tower and goer. Factor in the fact that you can DDT this sucker with a double dinette table situation outside, because the free-floating table inside can come outdoors, plus it has its own picnic table. And you've got a really good camp kitchen station on this one, like a real sink with a drain, you know, normal kind of faucet. There's no weird, like, blue coily sprayer hose or anything. It's just a sink. You've got the extra utensil drawer outside, the griddle cook station, a huge front pass-through. And then I start factoring in things like, I look at where the hookups are located on this one. They make more sense. This has a 60 by 80 True Queen, so tall people like me can fit. A taller ceiling, so tall people like me can fit in the shower. It's not just that it's lightweight and it's mobile. It's just so smartly done. And I tell you, I've really liked this floor plan for a number of years. We've carried Freedom Express for a while now, and the first time I saw this one right here, I was like, ooh, instead of that no slide bunkhouse, you can get something a little bit shorter, and the slide out here in the living room actually makes it feel a little bit bigger. And that's back when Freedom Expresses weren't 6'9" tall like they are now. They're extra tall now compared to what they used to be. So when they went to this newer decor, I was a little spooked. I thought, this is a smaller space. I feel like that decor might kind of bully it around a little bit, but they added some very nice contrasting light accents to, I think, help prevent that. Like, the flooring is really light. Are you noticing how that is a completely carpetless floor system here? Freedom Express got ahead of the curve on that. They've been doing that for at least a solid year before brands like Jayco and Keystone, which I'm glad they're doing that now too. But that, I don't know what color or what the name is for that wood tone. I could take a bath in that tone right there. I love the way that looks. Notice too, what's also helping is we've got windows all around the slide out here, giving us excellent, viewing and breeze through. Not to mention the fact that dinette down there can fold down into a pretty sizable bed, since that's what I call a true U dinette, where it's like about 7 foot long, not quite 4 foot deep, but a big space. It creates some pretty solid sleeping capacity. Now, we will tend to outfit these with a larger 15,000 BTU air conditioner up here. Every single vent can turn and close individually, so you can really control your airflow, which is really nice. Let me back up here and give you a kind of another sort of, wide angle view of it. Although I don't use a wide angle lens, I think you know what I mean here. One of the funky things on camera about this decor, by the way, we're not just carpetless, we're also ventless flooring. This is as easy, clean, and beautiful cover girl as it gets right here. The outlets in this are very hard to see on camera. So if you're curious about something like, there are outlets under the kitchen cabinets, I'll show you in just a second. I'm going to try to make an extra effort to really point those out today. And we talked about the dinette sleeping, but the dinette sleeper is kind of like a backup sleeper. One of the things I really like that they did here on this double bunkhouse is, instead of like curtains that stick off of the wall that get like damaged super easily, they went almost toy hauler-ish with these snap-on blackout shades. And I think, please, other manufacturers, please start doing something like this. I think this is such a smart idea, because it totally blots that out. It's also very good at keeping a lot of extra heat out of the RV, because you're, just straight blocking the sun. That will get physically warm to the touch. Sure, it'll still radiate some heat, but not as much as the sun beaming in, turn this thing into a greenhouse. But if the kids roll over, if they toss and turn, if they're horsing around, they don't rip the window shade off the window, which I think is awful darn nice. Now, over here we've got the 12-volt DC compressor fridge. That is 10.7 cubic foot in capacity right there, one of the larger fast cooling varieties. All of the cabinetry in this, by the way, is all pocket screwed. And I guess as long as I'm weaving my way around this thing, we might as well... Ooh, I'm running into the pantry beside me. Sorry about that. The camera lurched around. Let's crack everything open and get a good look at our storage. Starting right up front, I guess you don't have to open the door to see the clutter-cutting shoe garage by the door, which is something I look for in like every bunkhouse I can. If I can get one of those by the door just to keep all the shoes under control, I'm always a pretty happy camper. Actually, I didn't even think about the fact that we're talking about camping. Never mind, you get the idea. Now, that is deep back there. You know, depending on what you're putting back there, you might need like the little, extendo grabber claw, go gadget grabber arm to get one of those things. And of course, the Freedom Express utensil drawer. That is the best use of space around a sink I've ever seen. Because typically, if you get anything under the sink, you get this crappy little sponge drawer, which half the time when you open the drawer, the sponge flips open at you and hits you, like spurts you in the face a little bit. I hate those things. They're better than nothing, I suppose, but they're certainly not my preference. That fridge, by the way, it's the same height and face dimension, effectively, as a two-way gas-electric refrigerator freezer. Where you get the extra capacity is that it is deeper. Now, I'm weaving my way around like a million open cabinet doors here, and I have to get right up and close and personal on this thing. Because you may have noticed they are using hidden hinge cabinet doors here in the Freedom Express, which is kind of nice. But that means that door right there just kind of sits open in my face the entire time. You might have noticed, too, there's a hanging closet rack in both sides of those things. But the left-hand side had pantry shelves that you can always pull down and remove. But we're not done. Because you got this free-floating, I'm going to call it DDT table, because when we go outside, you'll see that we can do a double dinette situation on this. I've talked about it before. I'm going to demonstrate it today. I'm going to the DDT, demonstrate it. But notice, you've got doors for bench access, but they also have a little sliding panel for the rear bench. And I still, to this day, Freedom Express has been doing that for years, making that easy to access. I cannot understand why other manufacturers have not done that yet. And you know, it's kind of crazy. We close all that storage up and this thing looks pretty darn good. You leave all the storage gaping wide open, it looks like a chaos bomb went off in here. Now, if you look back there, you see that porcelain foot flush stool. And if you watch our videos, you know what time it is already. It is toilet selfie time! So that you can see, there's not just decent legroom there, there's very good hip and shoulder room. This is what I call a fluffy friendly bathroom. Now, Freedom Express has maintained the use of tubs for the most part in their bunk models. They do a lot of showers in couples models. It seems like there's still a real 50-50 split within the consumer marketplace. A lot of people will say, oh, I always want a tub, or I never want a tub. Like, until everybody can reach a little bit more of a consensus, I guess we're just going to keep seeing a pretty healthy variety of different things. By the way, whether it's the bathroom countertop here, the dining table, in the kitchen, everything is a sealed edge press membrane in here. Now notice that little glow beam above the entertainment center? It doesn't always show up great during the day because there's so much light pollution in here. But there's also little accent lights under the dinette. Those are all on one switch. That is the little night track, air traffic controller lighting so you can see where you're going. By the way, something here Freedom Express does. They have a taller ceiling. That doesn't necessarily mean a brand's going to have a taller slide. Freedom Express does do that so that you have a little more headroom. It's about a 6-foot height clearance in that thing. The entertainment center right here, big TV in that. And one of the other things that's kind of cool is not just the sliding privacy doors to close off the bedroom, but the fact that the entire entertainment center spins now, not just the TV. It used to be the little entertainment head unit down here, that didn't spin, so that, if you spun the TV around, you'd have to, walk out here in your skivvies every time you wanted to change from Captain Kangaroo. That was dangerously close to morphing into a little Adam Sandler kind of thing right there. Woo! I'm just kind of keen in the fact that now that I sat down, you got that full wall backsplash. Oh, outlets. I'm sorry. There are 2 sets of outlets under that overhead cabinet right there. Because if I don't point those out, you're going to look at this and be like, this thing has absolutely no outlet coverage. Now, they did, I think, as good as they could have for door side windows here. It is limited, but this is a smaller camper. I think you're going to spend more of your time being active outdoors, and you're going to come in for function time when you need to. I'm glad I left this kicked up because it also kind of reminded me. We got to talk about the reintroduction of the stone cast sinks. These things are 500 degree rated. It looks like plastic. It ain't. It'll do everything stainless does and then some. It just ain't shiny. I don't care about not shiny. Personally, I want it to work. Also, again, it's the little things like the utensil drawer, just the classic little curtain anchor to keep that string from getting strung all over the countertop. Little things like that, man. Little things, I think, make the big differences. Now, up front here, normally, in the history of Freedom Express, we'd come up here and I would say, look at this, ladies and gentlemen. We've got household and USB outlets on both sides of the bed. Again, a little hard to see here. We've got the hanging closets. We've got a full overhead storage and a beautiful front windshield with a blackout, night shade that you can pull down so you don't fry like an ant under the magnifying glass. And, whoo, buddy, she's a 60 by 80 true queen bed. Now, obviously, all of that is still true, but they've done something up here that makes this little camper, I think, the space you can use on a rainy day has really expanded. They gave it this big, like, vaulting bed. It's like a Murphy bed. This is kind of like a sort of Murphy dresser. I keep using the word Murphy. They don't use that. They just call it their vaulted bed system. But you have these double dresser drawers on either side here. But if you look below, they actually have open pockets beneath. Not to mention, you've got the perfect little, either storage tote duffel bag or dog kennel hide and seek champion space for the kiddos down there. And that is one of the other things that I really, really like about this. These benches that we're looking at right here, you can sit on them like I'm doing right now. They are rated to hold adult-sized weight. So we're kind of right on top of it. I get it. But let's say it's a rainy day and you need to really expand your interior space because you're going to be stuck in here for a while. There's no going anywhere. Well, you've got your own little playroom in here. The bigs maybe have their own little bunk space in the back. You've always got a little bit of say tic-tac-toe or checkers or Connect 4 or something, whatever. What games do you play? What games do you take when you go camping, by the way? I'm looking for something new. I'm tired of beating my family at Connect 4. Fun fact, if you start in the middle space, and if you go first, and if you play perfectly, you're actually guaranteed to win every single game of Connect 4. Weird but true. One of the other really clutch details on this one is also the fact that with the slide closed, frankly, guys, you lose nothing. You might have to crawl over the front queen bed a little bit to get to the other side, kind of like, the chicken that crossed the road, but you can walk right around this counter. You can get to the fridge. You can get to the bunks, the bathroom, the pantry, the closets. You can get to everything in this. This passes the Cracker Barrel test, and she is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, totally turtle friendly, dude. In my head that worked better. I love the face of this thing. I love its face. It looks like it's moving, even when it's just sitting there. Just the windshield, the sweep graphics, always looks really cool on it. And it's funny, I'm kind of glad it's a little bit overcast today. The last 3 or 4 Freedom Expresses we got in, it must have been just the way the light was hitting it. The left-hand blue swoop looked different from the right-hand blue swoop. And I'm glad to see that they are the same color, because I was trying to figure out if somebody down there actually approved mismatch colors on the nose there, but obviously they did not. Now, one of the more, I think, interesting updates for the 22 series is that Freedom Express has gone to a double Azdel sidewall instead of half and half. Previously, what they had explained to me is they went half and half to maintain a little higher level of strength within the wall. Evidently, they've done some more testing and found out we can actually go to the double Azdel that I think a lot of people, given the choice, would prefer. and, you know, save a little bit of weight in the process here. Now, if we look over here to the right, look up by those aluminum beams. You see there's a full-length LED light situation going on there at pass-through, and the top of the pass-through is actually where you're going to be able to stow one of the 2 outdoor picnic tables on this thing. One of the other things I think is very cool for the 22s on the Freedom Express, Pete the dog's keeping a good eye on it right here, is this right here. So this is a magnet latch holdback, but it also has a positive catch system. I don't know if you saw that because it's kind of black on black. Watch this thing. It just sort of sucks the pin down in there. And now it can't fall and hit you on the head. And I don't know if you've ever guessed this, but I'm the kind of person who's had a number of things hit me in the head over the years, which probably explains a lot about how I go about my business here. Again, if I'm just really criticizing, there's not a whole lot of door side window coverage, but I think they did the best they could. You've got the double bunk windows, both of which open for airflow. The kitchen window, the bedside window there, all open for airflow. And they are all of those are contained under a 20-foot patio awning. That is basically the biggest awning they could put on this trailer. And you say, well, there's a little bit of room right in front of that baggage door on the right-hand side of the screen right now. Awnings only come in specific lengths from suppliers. That is the biggest awning that you can put on this RV that is commonly supplied, basically. You might notice down here, too, the wide stance stability axles. A lot of people like half tons. They like short beds. You know, they want to keep the vehicle as short as possible because it's your daily driver, right? You know, you don't want something that's too awful large. Those wide stance axles right there, they do just a tremendous job of eliminating a lot of the wiggle jiggle from transit. It helps keep the tail from wagging the dog to a great deal. You know, I didn't do this on purpose, but speaking of tails and dogs, right by the entry door, we have a combination. This has actually got to be the truest example of the drunken uncle leash latch nerdism number 37. It is both a pet leash latch as well as a bottle opener. That little paw pops them little bottles right open right there. Standard griddle station going on with our camp kitchenette over here. And remember, I said you can DDT this sucker. Double dinette table. Boom, baby. We got the full-on breakfast buffet line going over here. If your campsite doesn't have a picnic table, you can use one of these for prep. You can use one of them for seating. You could use them both. Either way, I don't care. Whatever works for you. Fact is, you know, it doesn't have a giant necessarily kitchen on the inside, because this RV, I think, really exploits the fact that you can use your campsite by and large like an extension of your kitchen, especially with that good griddle station and the camp kitchen arrangement they have going on over here. In addition to the fridge inside, we have Dad's medicine cabinet out here for the bottled water and the barley pop. Again, we have a real sink with a real drain into a holding tank, not a dog dish onto the ground that the seasonal lady's like, you're not supposed to put water on the ground. And she's not wrong, you know. It's just, message could have been delivered a little bit nicer when I was 12 years old and didn't know any different. Never mind, I'm not still bitter. And a number 2 utensil drawer. What's kind of cool, have you noticed? This whole thing telescopes in and out. Oh, I'm glad I came over here. I forgot there's a little set of power outlets over there. Keep your little Bluetooth speaker or something like that powered up outside. Is it just me? Hey, let me ask you guys something. This might sound a little crazy, but hear me out here. What are your thoughts on getting rid of the outside speakers on RVs altogether? It has nothing to do with this RV. This is just me having an idea on the fly over here and not knowing when to break that out of a separate video. But the speakers on RVs, especially the outside, they never typically sound really great. And most of the time, just like I said over here, I tend to carry like a little Bluetooth speaker or something with me anyway. They become so common, they become very good. They keep the sound localized so that you're not blowing the neighbors away with your Freedom Rock, brother. I don't know. It doesn't bother me. I wouldn't mind getting rid of the outside speakers personally and just using something else, even carrying a small portable radio if I just want radio function outside. That doesn't bother me, but couple less seal points, a couple less, I don't know, areas of headache. It just makes sense to me. But just because something makes sense to me doesn't mean it necessarily makes sense. Am I right? Am I wrong? Let me know. And in the meantime, we're gonna keep the show on rolling here. In the back, we've got ourselves backup camera prep. We are reverse travel lit on those tail lights right there. So when you do shift into reverse, somebody else knows that you're shifting into reverse and they don't try to get into a push-in match with you. We're gonna clamber up that ladder in just a moment here. A couple other cool little details first though. Remember I mentioned the smart positioning of the hookups here. Our outside shower, black tank flush, separate cable and satellite hookups, which is actually kind of cool. So you don't need like jumper wires. You don't need an A/B switcher or anything like that. They're all located in what I think is the correct area of the RV. Also, you've got a really, Apex does this too, really rough textured slide wall right here. And they use a T-shaped wiper seal. I don't know how well that really shows up on camera, but what this is doing is it gives more surface area to grab that wall, and the wall's grippier, technical term, so that those wiper seals wipe in and out. Plus, inside and outside, you have a bulb, so you always have triple points of contact. And I sure am glad they didn't park that thing up there in those puddles. Just a nice little thing for me today. Up top here, we do have a fully walkable, snow-loaded roof. It's not totally a wood structured roof. What's interesting on this is the perimeter is actually aluminum, and they do that so that the roof marries up flat aluminum to flat aluminum along the sidewalls so that you just get a better fit. I don't really see a lot of other manufacturers doing that, but it really seems to work well for Freedom. They also have a handy little attic vent right here. That's the hockey puck in the middle of the screen. And this little plug up here, if you are so interested, you can add some solar panels to this thing. She's obviously roof solar ready. There's a wiring run down to a charge controller. Keep in mind, there's a different thing in the RV industry between prep and ready. And this is true not of just Coachmen. This is true widely of the industry. Taking this item, for example, if you see or hear something is washer dryer prepped, or in this case, roof solar prepped, what exactly does that mean? Does that entail? Because it could mean virtually nothing. What this typically means, roof solar prep from almost every manufacturer, is you got a plug on the roof, the wiring is run down to the charge controller location, and that's it. If it doesn't already have a factory installed solar package, you'll still have to run a wire like up to the battery. There's still some tech time involved in that. And that's really the difference between prepped and ready. Prepped is, we kind of got you started a little bit here. You're going to have to, pick up the baton, take it the rest of the way, Whereas ready means plug and play. There's not a lot of things that are ready, plug and play, especially when it comes to this solar stuff. That could change over time, because at the time of this filming, the vast majority of people are still not requesting solar packages on these. And the Freedom Express solar package, it doesn't suck. It's a 30 amp controller, a 175 watt panel, but the 30 amp controller, you could basically flood the roof of this thing with panels before the charge controller gets overloaded. It can handle quite a bit. But as that changes, as more and more people start looking for more factory solar solutions, it's possible that that'll just be taken care of organically. But for now, them's the facts, Jack. So if you agree with me, let me know. Or I guess if you disagree, let me know the areas that you'd like to see this one done a little different. I've tried to be fair, like mentioning things like the little lack of a window shade in the entry door, but it's a little shy on door side windows. But at the same time, I think a camper like this, you're gonna spend probably more of your time outside, and it has just enough interior space where if the weather person gets it wrong, can you imagine that ever happening when you're camping? Don't even get me started. You can spend some time in here without going stir crazy and driving one another nuts. You can walk on the roof, you can add some solar, the belly's heated, the axles are wide. There just ain't a whole lot of areas that you could really pick this one apart, in my opinion. I don't know, maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, let me know. If you're serious or if you're curious, I'll leave you a link in the video description. You can check for pricing and availability, and short of that, give us a call when you're ready. We're family owned and operated. We don't do hidden dealer fees. We'd love to work with you. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy Haylett camping, everyone.